When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. Now let's continue where you last left off in our story. Deku woke up sometime later. Toga saw and rushed over to Deku's side. Toga hugged Deku with tears in her eyes, extremely worried. Don't scare me like that. All for One was in line, and that was extremely painful. And I could tell my body is still adjusting. That was reckless of you to accept that bastard's offer. Who knows what he has done to your quirk? I don't trust him. Neither do I. When I accepted his proposal, I knew there would be a good possibility that he might have tampered with my quirk, that he might have tampered with the super strength quirk when he combined it with my own. I would have done the same thing in the same position. I'm no fool. I know he doesn't trust us, and he knows we don't trust him. But I'll look into my quirk gene, to see if I can find what he did, if he tried anything. Deku tilted Toga's head upwards with his index finger, and gave Toga a deep kiss on the lips. Surprising Toga, but not unwanted, as Toga leaned in to the kiss. I see you two lovebirds are doing just fine, as Dobby stepped through a portal. I met with the League. All for One's apprentice. He's a bit different. But he wants to meet you two. Toga blushed a little bit from getting interrupted with her Deku time, as they both got up, then stepped in through the portal to find themselves in the old bar. Sorry about that video popped out of nowhere. Let's continue. Shigaraki noticed the other two members of the Vanguard Action Squad stepped through the portal with Kirigiri as he approached them with his hands in his pockets. So you're the rest of the Vanguard Action Squad. Shigaraki gave the two new members to the League of Villains, that's part of the Vanguard Action Squad, a look over. Shigaraki could immediately tell the blonde is extremely unstable. He would know. He does have the rare occasion of madness, on occasion. He doesn't know what to think about the green-haired guy that's standing right next to the blonde. I'll make this short and sweet. I'll give you the same speech I gave your leader. I'm the one in charge here. Stay in your lane, and we won't have a problem. I'm the one in charge in the daily activities of the League of Villains, while Sensei deals with the stuff in the shadows. Toga nodded at Shigaraki in acknowledgement. You have nothing to worry about that. I'm not the leader type. I have no interest or will I have no interest or any attention to lead a group like this. As long as you keep your hands off Toga, I won't have to kill you. Everyone in the room could feel the tension between the two of them as they both stared down at each other in pure silence until Shigaraki formed a grin on his face and started to laugh. I like you. Me and you are gonna get along just fine. Name's Shigaraki. Deku. Shigaraki took one of his severed hands that's on his arm and grabbed it in a handshake motion. Deku handshake the severed hand. He found the action quite odd. Izuku immediately thought maybe he's a germaphobe, or it might have something to do with quirk, but he shook the hand regardless. Shigaraki could tell he's a bit complex. I can see you're a bit confused. It would be unwise to have all 5 of my fingers touch your skin. It would pretty much end badly for you. I have a decay quirk. It's powerful and is very difficult when I'm doing daily activities around the house. You don't know how many times I've accidentally decayed a cup that I was trying to drink out of. You say decay. Fascinating. Shigaraki could see the same look that's in his eyes that he sees in the good old doctor face, Dr. Ojiko. The glint of craziness making Shigaraki extremely nervous. As All For One took a small notebook out and started writing down details and mumblings and things underneath his breath in rapid succession. Sorry about him. He's like that when he comes across a new quirk. I'm Toga. Shigaraki look over to the clearly crazy Deku. That doesn't look too healthy for him. I find it absolutely adorable, really. Toga placed her hand over Deku's and gave him a kiss, breaking him out of his ramblings in front of everyone. I do apologize for their antics. They're extremely affectionate towards each other and don't really care who's in the room while they're showing their affection. Trust me, I've met some weird villains. I'm used to such a scene. That would probably irritate me when I was younger, when I first started out learning from Sensei, but I've matured over the years. I believe it'd be best to leave him alone. That's probably for the best. Toga is quite protective over Deku. Toga and Deku broke the kiss and walked over to the bar to sit down. As Kirigiri greeted the two, greetings, Deku and Toga. What would you like? I don't know. Chocolate shake, please. It's not too much trouble. I'll have the same. Of course. Welcome to our family. Kirigiri went off to make their chocolate shakes while Toga and Deku talk among themselves. After a few minutes, Shigaraki talked to Dabi for a few minutes. Then he proceeded to walk towards the couple. At least that's what he presumes, how lovey-dovey they are with each other. Hey Deku, I'm meeting a possible new recruit. You want to tag along? So we can get a feel for each other. After all, we will be fighting together against pro heroes in the near future. Toga looked at Shigaraki with suspicion and clearly not liking the idea being away from Deku. You might be the boss around here, but my Deku's safety is my main concern. He won't be going anywhere until you can promise me no harm will come to him. She stood up from the bar stool and has her hands on her hips. Shigaraki was surprised by that outright aggression being directed towards him. He's starting to see why those two get along with each other so well. Don't worry, Toga. No harm will come to Deku. We're just gonna have a nice little talk with a possible new recruit. If things get difficult, I'll decay him personally. Toga, let the boys go out so we can hang out with each other. We haven't done that in a while. Toga pouted, clearly not liking the idea. Fine, as she glared at Shigaraki. Toga gave Deku a kiss as the two girls leave the bar, leaving the boys to their own devices. Sorry about that. She can be quite possessive. I could see that. That's one scary blonde. But for your question, why not? If we're lucky, it might turn violent, as Deku formed a Toga-like grin on his face. That's always a possibility, Deku. We're going after Muscular. I know it's pretty much a lost cause. He's not much of a team player, but his power would be a nice addition to the league. Muscular, you say? I take it you've met him before. I've never met the man, but I know him by reputation. He's extremely arrogant and a child killer. I'll be frank. I hope he does refuse, so I could kill him. But if we manage to somehow recruit him, I'll play nice. He just gives us real villains bad names. Try this again. He gives us real villains a bad name. Come on, let's get going. Sure thing, boss. As Deku got off the bar stool and left with Shigaraki out of the bar. So how long you been with the Vanguard Action Squad? Not too long. Wasn't a member originally. I got a job by the operator. That's how I got introduced with the Vanguard Action Squad. After that, I never left. The League has done jobs with him before. The operator does have solid intel. That he or she does. I'm still trying to figure out what gender they really are. Same here, it's been driving me crazy, man. So the word around the streets that you had a run-in with a pro hero, specifically a Racerhead. You heard about that. Hard not to. And news like that gets around in the villain community. Show how you fought a hero like that with such high caliber skill that you managed to escape, capture, is most impressive. I probably could have managed to kill him if I dragged out the battle, but I wasn't there to kill a Racerhead. If I remember right, your group was responsible for robbing that shady jewelry store. I get it now. I see your point of view. You were buying time. Smart. Luckily for me, Luckily for me, he was only after me to begin with. That probably won't be the last time a hero track you down. They're so pushy and yapping about justice, blah blah blah. I normally decay them before they start ranting about justice. It's just so annoying. I get shivers from thinking from the last speech I got from a hero. He was very vocal about I'm going to stop my evil ways and rid the earth of my taint. Blah blah blah. I end up disintegrating him with my Gaster Blaster. He just wouldn't shut the fuck up. Indeed, very annoying. I swear, these heroes like to hear themselves speak. Gaster Blaster? My quirk is a small floating skull that flies around. I'm able to create the size and the density of the energy that gets shot out of the Gaster Blaster's mouth. Speaking of my quirk, I'm quite curious if your decay quirk would work on one of my Gaster Blasters. Actually, you bring up a good point. I'm quite curious as well. Shigaraki plays all 5 fingers on the skull that Deku created right in front of Shigaraki, but nothing happened, surprising both boys. Both boys were interrupted by screams of civilians running past them as the sludge villain is fighting against a student from UA. Deku immediately noticed the spiky blonde hair and red eyes. Well, it isn't. Sorry. Well, isn't it? Well, isn't it Bakugo Koski in the flesh? So he finally deemed the general population of his presence. I take it you know the punk? Yeah, we grew up together. He's an arrogant, unstable prick that has severe little man syndrome. Despite his violent nature, he's a hero through and through. Never really liked the bastard though. We could take him out if you want. That won't be necessary, boss. It's not time for his death. His death will be on a grander stage. Let's just see how he handles himself. I'm curious how much stronger he's become over the years. Why not? We have some time. Bakugo was having a nice day off of school, taking a nice stroll around the city until this sludge villain bastard showed up and started to attack him. He managed to escape the gross, disgusting looking villain by using his explosions to keep him out of arm's length, at least what arms this bastard has, because he's pure made of sludge. If it wasn't annoying enough, his twin sister appeared out of nowhere and started to order him around. Get your fucking head in the game, brother. Let's take this bastard out. Whatever. Holy shit, they're duplicating. Oh, it's terrifying, isn't it? That's his older twin sister, Katsuki Bakugo. What I remember of her, she was always very violent towards her brother, but extremely kind towards me when I was a child. So they both managed to get to UA. She has a more powerful version of explosions. Same quirk as her brother. It must be because they're twins. Genetics and all that. The blonde twins managed to hold off the villain until a more higher tier hero, showed up, it didn't take long for All Might to make his presence known by throwing a smash, as the sludge villain was scattered into several different pieces. That's when the rest of the heroes took action by placing all the sludge pieces in a large container. As Shigaraki growled out All Might, tightening his fist from seeing the number one hero. Let's go. Very well, looks like the show is over. So that's All Might. I figured he would be taller. Deku and Shigaraki disappeared into the crowd. Both twins got a glimpse of the green hair and green eyes, but Deku disappeared in the crowd before they could get a good look at him. The two villains finally stop in front of a very old warehouse with two thugs wearing muscle shirts guarding the entryway. We're here to see Muscular. He's expecting us. The thugs guide the two villains to the top level of the warehouse to see Muscular sitting on a wooden crate. Have you came to a decision, Muscular? That I do, brat. As several of Muscular's men surround the two villains, I decline. I have no intention of joining your little group. I don't follow commands. I command people to do what I want. Kill them, boys. I guess you were right, Deku. It's only natural because of his shitty personality, and he's a complete idiot. Alive or dead, I believe he'd still be useful to the League. You bring up a good point. I could always make him into a Nomu. Nomu? What is that? Endeared and all in time, my friend. Let's have some fun, Deku, shall we? Took the words right out of my mouth. Don't fucking ignore me, you little shit. If you haven't realized, you're surrounded and you're going to die. Allow me to change that. With one snap of Deku's fingers, as he created dozens of Gaster Blasters that are flying around the room, shooting out beams of energy out of their mouths, while his partner, Shigaraki, rushed forward to begin to decay grunt after grunt until Muscular was the only one left. Muscular wasn't concerned about his men dying. He could always find more of them. But he is cautious. He knows how dangerous Shigaraki is. And Muscular decided the other brat is as much as dangerous as Shigaraki. But Muscular did recognize the name Deku. As Muscular is thinking they're probably the same person. By the trademark skulls that shoot out beams of energy out of their mouths. Muscular was broken out of his inner thoughts by Deku slamming his fist across Muscular's face as he went through several of the walls of the warehouse. When Muscular hit the last wall, it cushioned his blow somewhat. When he was about to get up, a beam of energy shot out of a Gaster Blaster that was flying right in front of him, point blank range, into his stomach, as Muscular gets blasted out of the building, hitting a parked car on the side of the road, as the parked car alarm went off because of the impact that Muscular hit the car. denting the metal of the driver's seat door. Deku approached Muscular, cracking his neck as he stretched out his arms, still trying to get the feel for his super strength. That's now part of his original quirk. I'm actually quite relieved that you declined to offer to join the League of Villains. You're a disgrace. Not even worthy of being the villain. You fucking child killer. Nothing but a rampaging beast that needs to be put down. Gives me the chance to kill you personally, but this gives us a perfect opportunity to test out my upgrades. On your feet, you pile of shit. I'm not done beating you yet. A lot of nerve, brat. I can admit that's one hell of a right hook you have there, and that beam of energy that shot out of your skulls that are floating in the sky. It's a bit creepy, but effective nonetheless. I'm going to enjoy putting you underneath my boot. Little upstarts like you need to be put in their place. And I'm more than willing to do it, little brat. Well, aren't we confident in ourselves, musclehead? Don't forget about me, as Shigaraki launched his hand towards Muscular, barely missing Muscular, as Muscular was forced to jump backwards to escape from getting decayed. You're pretty fast on your feet, despite your large size. I'm going to enjoy killing you, actually. I'm kind of glad you didn't accept. Deku is right. Losers like you give us a bad name. Let's make this fast, before any heroes show up. Us exactly. As both villains rush towards Muscular, Deku, taking out his hunting knife. Deku taking charge, throwing blow after blow, while Shigaraki rushed towards Muscular, trying to place all 5 fingers on any part of Muscular's skin. He eventually was able to grab hold of Muscular's right arm, decaying his arm instantly. As Muscular screams out in pain, and backhand Shigaraki, forcing Shigaraki to skid backwards from the force of the backhand that hit his face. Deku created several medium-sized Gaster Blasters that surrounded Muscular, all on all sides, as the Gaster Blasters unleashed their beams of energy all at the same time. As there was a bright flash. When the flash receded, the 2 younger villains see Muscular still standing, but heavily damaged from Deku's attack. Muscular wasn't expecting that from the green-haired brat. That's why he didn't activate his quirk. If it wasn't for his arm decaying, he would be more focused. But he was more focused ripping off a piece of his arm. So the decay doesn't travel to any other limbs that he won't be able to survive from. You can see slight burn marks from the energy blast on Muscular's torso, as Muscular is staring daggers at Deku. Deku rushed with his hunting knife in his right hand, ready to stab Muscular. As Muscular pulled out his own hunting knife and began having a knife fight, both villains dodging and weaving around each knife thrust. As they're hoping for opening to capitalize on a mistake. Muscular was underestimated Deku because of his young age. Muscular's train of thought so far as doesn't see don't think too highly to the two brats. They're quite young, don't have any real experience. Like him. He's he has he's had combat experience. Unlike the brats. He's never been the one to follow orders, especially from a brat. And that's not going to change anytime soon. Of course, he declined our offer. When he declined our offer, he wasn't going to kill them at first. But that arrogant look on that boy's face irritated him. He doesn't like Shigaraki one bit. He finds him to be a little shit. Muscular made a mistake, not focusing on his second opponent until it was too late, as Shigaraki grabbed onto his left arm, decaying it, while Deku rushed forward and slammed his hunting knife into Muscular's chest, barely missing his heart. What the hell? Why didn't my quirk activate? They're wondering why your muscle fiber didn't activate. It's quite simple. When we engage in a knife fight, I managed to inject you with a very potent quirk suppressor drug that I personally created. You bastard, I'm gonna kill you. You hear me? I'm gonna rip you to the pieces. Shigaraki stood in front of Muscular. Sorry to burst your little bubble, Musclehead, but that's not gonna happen. You're gonna die. Goodbye, Muscular. As Shigaraki grabbed Muscular by the face and began to decay him, very slowly, as Muscular screams out in pain, until there was barely anything left of him. Dead. As though what's left of Muscular dropped to the ground. As they could hear police sirens in the background, they both book it out of the area, cutting through the alleyways. Meanwhile, Toga and Dabi were at a rave, dancing with each other. After they had their fun hanging out with each other, they began to leave, only for a couple of guys from the rave were following them in the alleyway. It looks like we got ourselves some unwanted attention, Dabi. I noticed that as well. I recognize a few of them. They're some low-tier villains. How you want to handle this? As long as they don't try anything. If one of them even touches me, I'll kill them. Only Deku-kun has the right to touch me. And judging by their lust in their eyes, they're not here for a friendly little chat. Disgusting pigs. You really love the guy, don't you? Yes, that was Toga's immediate response to her friend. I know that look, Dabi. True, I usually kill the person I fall in love with, regardless of gender. But he's different. I have no desire to kill him, or even hurt him. It extremely bugs me to see him hurt. Haven't even cut him once. Nor do I have any obsession of drinking his blood. I find it very odd. But I'm getting used to it. Looks like they managed to surround us. But I'm glad to hear that. He's a good addition to the team. I came to care about him like a little brother. Hello, ladies. Me and my boys are stressed out. How about you help us release some stress? Not interested, loser. Don't be like that, Blondie. Who knows? You might enjoy it. You look like a screamer. You heard her. Back off. Don't worry. We won't leave you out in our fun. As one of them tried to grab Toga by the wrist, only for Toga to throw a knife into his face, killing him instantly, surprising the rest of the little group of villains. Take them. Rope them up if you have to. Once we're done having fun with them, we'll kill them afterwards. As all hell break loose. After trying to make their way back to the bar, Deku and Shigaraki notice some commotion in the alleyway. Izuku was curious what was going on. Once he entered the area, what Deku saw made him extremely furious, as he saw Toga pinned down onto the ground by several older kids, or older villains. They're a little older than Deku, trying to rip off Toga's shirt. Shigaraki couldn't even speak up. It was already too late. Deku was rushing forward with pure rage and death in his eyes as he kicked one of the guy off Toga. Once they were off Toga, the one still laying on the ground, he repeatedly smashed the guy in the face with his super strength quirk, crushing his skull on the first blow. As the blood begins to splatter, as some blood got on over Deku's cheek, as he looks towards the rest of them with pure hatred in his eyes. You're dead. By this time, Shigaraki caught up and began to decay several of the villains, while Dabi burned the rest with her fire. As several beams of energy shot out from the sky, as they rained down upon the rest of the villains. They finally realized the floating skulls up in the sky, but it was already too late, as the beams rained down upon them, killing them instantly. Deku picked up Toga in his arms. Let's get back. That probably caught someone's attention. I'm taking Toga back home. I'll catch you guys later. Toga would never show it on her face, but she was quite scared when they pinned her down to the ground. But she was extremely grateful that her Deku-kun came and rescued her. That simple act simply endeared him more to her. Once they got back to Toga's apartment, they cuddle up with each other on the couch, watching television. As there's a news broadcast showing scene where Deku and Shigaraki fought Muscular, as the report made a description of Deku and Shigaraki. Apparently, you've been busy. It kinda escalated a little bit. Me and Shigaraki might have or might not have killed Muscular and his posse. I don't know what I'm gonna do with you sometimes. I'm still a bit irritated that bastard ruined my shirt. Look at it. Will you be a sweetheart and grab one of my shirts from my dresser? Sure thing. When Deku got up and got the shirt from her dresser, Toga discarded her damaged shirt as she smiled at Deku, as Deku handed over the fresh shirt to Toga as she put it on over her torso. Toga pushed Deku onto the couch and straddled his lap. As she begins to make out with Deku, they continue to have their little make-out session, eventually leading to the bed. The next morning, you can see Toga wrapped around Deku's arms, completely nude, as they both got a text message from Dabi to meet up at the bar. This sucks. I don't want to leave from this spot. I'm very comfortable right now. But I know if we don't get up anytime soon, Dabi will start bitching, and I don't want to hear her bitch. Eventually got dressed and made their way over to the bar, with Deku and Toga still linking arms with each other, as they both greet Shigaraki, as they both sat down. Well, Deku sat down in front of the television, as Shigaraki passed the extra controller over to Deku, while Toga was talking to Dabi. While the boys were playing their little games, while they were waiting for the rest of the members to show up. After some time of Deku losing match after match, nice try, pay up. Deku grumbled and handed over the $50 from their little bet. Shigaraki pocketed the money and got up. So did Deku as well. As Deku went to sit down, only for Toga to jump on his lap. Now that everyone has finally arrived, we can begin our little meeting. I know you're all excited to get out there to get some action, but for now, we're going to lay low. The year is almost over for UA. According to our intel that we managed from one of our spies, that has already infiltrated Class 1A. The rescue team training was cancelled and moved to the second year. They've apparently made that thing a more frequently thing. Only second years will be taking the rescue courses at the USJ. But according to our intel, the number one hero himself, All Might, is supposed to be in attendance when they finally have it next year. And that's where we strike. This will give us plenty of time to prepare our secret weapon as a humongous creature with a black beak comes stepping out of the portal with pitch black skin with his brain exposed on the top of his head. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a Nomu. It is a artificial created human weapon that the good old doctor came up with. This one especially has been programmed to listen only to my commands. This Nomu was created to kill All Might himself. I'll be taking the weapon among us when we attack Class 1A during the USJ training exercise. I want you, Toga, to disguise yourself as one of the students from the general study and gather some more information, just in case somehow they changed their plans from here to now. Toga frowned at that, but she reluctantly agreed and nodded her head. You, Deku, will be with me when we attack the USJ next year. Until then, I want you all to... Then, Deku, I want you to get a better control of your super strength quirk. And for you, Dabi, I want you to go look for more additions to your Vanguard Action Squad to fill the ranks. Who you recruit is all up to you. I have a couple villains that I have in mind to fill the ranks, as we discussed last night. Good. Until then, everyone lay low. Don't bring attention to ourselves. Toga jumped off Deku's lap and gave him a kiss, and left the bar shortly afterwards, giving Shigaraki a glare when she walked past him and slammed the door to the bar to start her mission. Shigaraki simply waved her goodbye with a condescending smirk on his face that even irritated Toga even further. I would be careful, boss. If you push her too far, she actually might stab you. It's just too much fun to tease her. The reaction, it's hilarious. Anyways, I have a mission for you, Deku. We have a possible new recruit. Sensei is very interested in recruiting this specific person. The person we have in mind is a she, and she's currently in Tartarus. We have a way around to get you in there. You will be partnering up with Kirigiri during this mission. Now you got me curious. With this possible new recruit that caught the eye of the big boss man. A woman, she calls herself Lady Nagant. She was once the top assassin for the safety committee. She's responsible for killing many heroes, villains, and civilians alike. I've been told she's one cold-hearted bitch. We could always use a good sniper. I'll leave how you convince her to you. I'll leave how you convince her to join the League of Villains to you, Deku. I would do it myself, but I'm not what you call a people person, and I'm not good with dealing with women. They scared the shit out of me. Don't blame you. I'll handle it, Shigaraki. Come find me, young Deku, when you're ready. Do, Kirigiri. And that's where we're going to stop our story off. Hope you guys have a good night and day, judging by time zones. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.